All right. So Al, tell us about the business last year. What was the productivity last year for you?
So last year was probably my I would say lowest year for me being a team. I had a personal situation with my wife's medical condition, so kind of like mentally just I didn't care, like what was going on with the business, what was going on financially, what was
Mm.
my wife's health was like before everything. And then I have a 23-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and then I have a 3-year-old son. The same family, same wife, same everything. So
Wow.
mentally, it was dealing with the baby, dealing with the wife, and I couldn't. I was like trying to run this office, trying to run this business, and trying to run the house and the family and all that. I would say it's close to like 200 transactions last year, which is you
Well,
know
that's a horrible year, Al. You might as well just forget about it if you're all
I,
you're going to do is 200
yeah
transactions.
yeah
Jeez,
yeah
that's
no
amazing, man. That's amazing,
yeah.
and I'm sorry
I,
to hear about your wife.
Yeah, I would say me so when I was on the team with my brother at Century 21 for 22 years, we were closing about 3 to 500 transactions per year.
Okay.
Okay, I personally close individually about 130 transactions every year on my own, and then when I joined DXP, I went solo. Without a team for 2 years or 2.5 years, I was closing 130 deals a year after year. I was prospecting like a dog. I'd prospect, from morning till 12, and then 2 till 8. I was on back to back to back to back listing appointments.
So can we talk about that? So your number one source of seller leads has been
Mhm.
what?
Expireds and for sale by owners
Okay, and how long have you been working expireds and for sale by owners?
all my career. That's all. I got in the business. My brother was a big Mike Ferry agent, Floyd
Yeah,
Wickman,
yeah.
and that's all I knew is Mike Ferry and Floyd Wickman. So all I knew is how to you know prospect and role play and scripts and dialogue. I didn't know any other way. I came into the business this way. I thought that's what all realtors do. So I just knew that was my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
Not like
and both those two organizations are very good with their prospecting scripts around
that's right.
FSBOs and expireds.
That's right.
Sweat Hogs, I know for a lot of agents who've been in the business for a few decades, was a starting point for a lot of folks in terms of learning their scripts and dialogues around that. And then Mike's organization has always done a tremendous job at training agents up and coaching them to FSBOs and expireds. So for you, today, is FSBOs and expireds still a big part of your business?
No. So 4.5 years ago, I opened up this office right here on Telegraph in Dearborn. And since I opened it up, my organization, my recruits, my agent count was growing, and I was like, oh no, I need a home for these. Because when I first joined EXP, I was planning on opening up an office. So when I opened up this office, my mind was too busy with the office, setting it up, recruiting, managing, mentoring, coaching. I didn't have any more time to even think about getting on a dialer and prospecting. So I was focused on that because I moved into a town. Well, Dearborn Heights is a very big town. A lot of real estate brokerages here. A lot of real estate happens here. So EXP is just like a who? EX who? Like nobody knew who it was. I didn't even know who it was, right? So I needed to do something fast to build a brand. And the last thing I can do is go back to keep prospecting, going on listing appointments. Okay, well, you can't do this and do that. You got to pick and choose. So for 2.5 years, I grinded the phones, pounded the phones, listed, closed, nonstop. Then once I built that empire, that name, that brand, that nobody knew who it was, now it's time to open up an office. So when I opened up an office, I opened up right on a main busy intersection. You guys can kind of see the traffic, from my
Oh
TV
yeah,
screen
yeah,
behind
yeah.
me. It's like nonstop, 50,000 cars a day. So I put a stop to prospecting. What I did is I started mentoring, coaching, teaching my agents and my team, because then I built a team to do what I used to do, for all those years. Because it was time for me. Like I just kind of got like bored and tired of it. Like going on 2-3 listing appointments a day was not exciting no more. Closing 130 deals a year was not exciting anymore. Now it's time to go to the next level, the next step, and start being a leader, a mentor, a coach, and not being getting off the production line instead of being on the production line.
Before you make these calls, are you doing any prep work for any given FSBO that you're about to call?
Yes. So
what's the prep work?
My prep work was, okay, so I'm like, right now on my computer, I got 2 screens, right? So one screen was the dialer, and on the dialer, I'm seeing it's dialing that number. And then the second screen right here, or I would have like a large, let's say TV screen. At the time, I didn't have 2 screens. Like I had a large TV screen, then I'll split the screen. One is the dialer, one is the MLS.
Okay.
I always had one dialer, one MLS. That's how I always rolled, okay? So while it's dialing on this left side, on the right side is the MLS. What am I doing? Or the internet, the Zillow, whatever it is. If it's for sale by owners, let's just say, because they're not on MLS, right? So I would like be looking at the pictures, be looking at the map. I would be looking at everything, Googling everything while it's ringing, right? And that way, when they answer, number one, my radius was like 2 hours or an hour and a half, I think it was. Okay. So sometimes it'd be like, and I'm in Dearborn, sometimes it'd be like White Lake or whatever. I don't know, some city like, almost an hour away, right? From me. Well, if they answer in White Lake, I don't know White Lake. I don't know like where that house is or where it's located. So for me, it was like while it's ringing, I'm looking at the map. I'm doing a street view, Google view. Oh, Google Streets is my favorite friend, by the way. And because we didn't used to have all that access to that technology before, right? So I'm doing a street view. I'm looking at Google view. I'm looking at what lakes. I'm looking at what parks. I'm looking at everything. That when they answer, hey, Bryon, I know what lake. I know what awning shutters they have on their house. I know what bushes they have. Like they think I've been to their house. Yeah. I've never even been to that neighborhood. Because I want to sound like a really smart, sharp professional.
Okay. And then so we're dialing, we're looking at all the information, kind of trying to figure it out. And then they answer. Before we go into scripts and dialogues, what's the general approach you take? There's a wide spectrum of different approaches you can take for FSBOs. The if I had a buyer approach, or hey, I bet you anything you talked to a bunch of agents who said that to you today. I don't care about that. I want to help you on the buy side of your transaction. What approach do you take with FSBOs?
Well, the script that Mike Ferry and others would give you or teach you, or any real estate mentor, usually was like, I'm doing a survey of all the ring. I'm doing, hi, this is Abdallah, the expert Realty. I'm doing a survey of all the FSBO owners in the area. I was calling to see, what was it on the first sale by owner right here? The one I used to use. Hi, this is Abdallah. I'm calling about the home that's for sale. Is this the owner? Yes, I'm doing a survey of all the for sale by owners in the area, and I was wondering if you sold this home, where would you go next? How soon do you have to be moved? Yada yada. That. I used that for a long time, but I believe that you got to change with times. The scripts still work. You just got to tweak and change a few things according to time. And I changed my script many years ago to as if I'm a buyer. So my script was, ring, hello. Hey, I'm just calling about the home that's for sale. Is this the owner? Yeah. Hey, I'm just curious, how much are you asking? I'm asking, $339. How many bedrooms is it? Can you tell me more about your house? Can you describe the home for me? Well, it's got and then they start talking and talking. That's what I want. I want them to talk, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want to hear you. They want to hear themselves. So I know that, right? So I let them talk. When they're done talking, now I say, hey, and by the way, this is Al. I'm a realtor. I don't say, this is Al Abdallah with EXP Realty in Dearborn, Michigan, 48127, 48128, my suite number. It's too much. TMI. I keep it short and simple. Oh, and by the way, this is Al Abdallah. I'm a realtor. And by the way, so seems like a really nice house. How long have you guys had it for sale? Where are you moving to? What's going on? Any offers? I basically have a nonchalant, chilling conversation with them, as opposed to be drill sergeant. Well, let me tell you why 6%. You should pay 6%. Why you should hire a realtor. Why you need to meet with me. Why you're stupid. I'm smart. No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna fly.
Yeah. So you ask them information about the home. You share with them that you're an agent. Where does the conversation go from there? Where do you take them?
My main thing is I want to know more about them. So I'm a big fan of get what you need from them before they get what they need from you. on
Okay.
buyers, sign calls, on expires, on for sale by owners, on everything. I'm all about, let me get as much information as I can out of them. So the 5 W's they taught us in elementary school, the who, what, where, when, why, damn, I had no idea that was going to be my favorite part of real estate. So I'm a very big who, what, where, when, why. And I ask those questions, where are you moving to? I'm just curious, such a beautiful home. Have you guys gotten any offers? Okay. Oh, well, how soon do you have to be moved in? How long have you been for sale? What's the reason why you went for sale by owner instead of hiring a professional like myself? Well, I'm thinking to save the commission. I totally understand. So obviously, sounds like what you're trying to do is net the most money to your pocket is very important to you, right? Yeah, okay. Well, if there was a way to net more money to your pocket than doing it on your own, I mean, wouldn't you want to hear about it? Well, I already know what you guys do. No, I know. You sound like Bryon. You've gotten a lot of calls from realtors already, right? Yeah. See, that's the thing with going for sale by owner. You will get more realtors calling you than more buyers calling you. Did you know that? Well, I kind of see that. Well, that's exactly because your system goes to a dialing system, and the system that I'm using is a dialing system, and now you got me and thousands of others calling you. You don't need that, do you? No. Wouldn't you rather have buyers agents calling you with an offer or yada yada? So I'm just trying to give them value, Bryon. I'm trying to sell them on, look, if hiring me doesn't cost you a dime, and I'm going to do all the work, all the marketing, all the exposure, all the traffic, all the showing, this, and I start laying them out. So I load them with stuff that they're like, oh, I didn't know I got to do all that stuff as a seller, right? Seller disclosure, lead-based paint, the purchase agreement, the title work, and the city inspection. And then if I'm going to do all that work for you and not charge you a dime unless you make a dime, so if you don't get paid, I don't get paid. Bryon, what would you have to lose? And all these pauses and, hesitations and download and things that I can say to make you download what I just told you and give them that dot, that break where they're being able to download everything I just told them. I find it very hard. No, not everybody's going to hire me and give me the opportunity and all that. I get that. But in general, I'm very sharpened with my scripts and dialogue and mirroring and mimicking, rate of speech tonality, that it's very hard to get me off the phone. And it's very hard to say no, multiple times to me.
Are you asking a whole lot of yes or no questions?
No, they're open-ended questions. So the yes, no, as Floyd Wickman used to say, are yes, no. You ask them a question, yes, no. I want conversation questions where, so Bryon, let me ask you, what is it you're trying to accomplish by going for a sale by owner? And I shut up. The power of shutting up. Well, whatever it is. Okay, so once you sell this house, Bryon, have you already found a home or searched for a home or picked a home or anything like that? Now that's a yes, no questions, right? That's yes or no. And he says, yes, great. So where about in what city are you guys thinking about moving to? So all my questions, all my conversations are conversation to where they're open-ended, meaning they have to answer me with a conversation, not just a short answer.
Yeah, and you're going to confuse them with somebody else that's in another neighborhood, and that's not going to be good either.
Yep.
Now, final advice for folks when it comes to FSBOs in terms of mastering FSBOs and really succeeding at them that we didn't talk about?
You gotta, so this is a board. It's got scripts and objection handlers and all that. It's old. This is 25 years old. You see, it's all raggedy, and it's old but raggedy, but it still works, right? You gotta practice and rehearse. Like actors and actresses practice. Actors and actresses and athletes practice and rehearse their playbook, their scripts and dialogue, and they do it. And some are better than others, and that's why they get paid more than others, right? You got to practice and rehearse your scripts and dialogue. And to master the for sale by owner, you got to know what to say, how to say, and when to say. You got to know the questions and answers and objection handlers. Now, you can go another way. If you don't want to role play with anybody in your office or anybody on the phone or anybody in your company or anybody that that also, because we role played for a half hour every day before, for all my career. 7:30 to 8, we were role playing. Until today, we have a coaching call we do every morning, 7:30 to 8:30 for our group every morning. So, and anybody can jump on that call, by the way. If anybody wants to get on, they can reach out to me. But anyways, if you're not role playing with, other colleagues or whatever, role play with real sellers. That's even funner.
Yeah.
If they yell at you, scream at you, hang up on you, big deal. Just keep practicing. Keep calling more and more people. And what better do you want to role play with somebody that's live, that's real? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's, if you have to master any kind of for sale by owner, master the scripts and dialogue, tonality, rate of speech, and be a master at being a chameleon, which is mirroring and mimicking.
It's great advice. All right, Al. Thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate all your hard-won wisdom and you being so generous with it.